To avoid jet lag, we went to Centennial Lake, which is not far from their house. I could see the beautiful fall colors on trees, but still they have yet to turn more colorful, I guess. This is my favorite place since my last visit. We spent some time over there and then we went to other lake hoping to see more fall colors. But to my disappointment, I didn't find many colors. But still, we clicked some fun pictures, and then by late evening, I started feeling very cold as it was my first day. Then went back home, had dinner, and slept by 10. That's it. That's the end of my jet lag. Next day, we went to Amish village, which is in Pennsylvania. We took a tour to know and experience the lifestyle of Amish community. There is so much to say about this community. They use horses to plow their fields instead of tractors even today, and their primary form of transporting is horse and buggy. This community don't use electricity in their day-to-day living. Even if they have to, they use solar power and other sources. You can see the clothes put for drying outside under the sun. This is the telephone booth outside the house as they don't have phones in the houses. I think I have to stop here because there are so many things to know about them. Next day, we went to Delaware for a destination wedding. It took about 2 hours to reach that place. Delaware is the second smallest state in USA, whereas Rhode Island is the first smallest state. Delaware is known for having no state sales tax. So before leaving for Sangeet ceremony, we couldn't resist the offer by my co-sister Sunita for a photo shoot. So here are some pictures clicked by her in her beautiful neighborhood. Clicked pictures with bride and groom and then shook my leg for the Bollywood music. Next day, we got ready to attend the Western wedding. I was little worried when I heard that the wedding will be in open place as it was cold. But I really appreciate all the arrangements made by the host at every point to give utmost comfort to all the guests. Next day, we were in traditional attire for the Indian wedding. Punjabi wedding will not be over without band Baja Barat. We really had a great time and enjoyed every moment at the wedding, then came back to Maryland after the wedding. Well, it's family time, fun time. Celebrated Diwali with my dearies, though I missed both boys of the family who couldn't make it. Ever since I saw this brand new electric bike in the house, I was so desperate to ride it. So next day morning before leaving for Ellicott City, I tried this. It was so much fun. I really don't know whether it is the bike or the roads, but I thoroughly enjoyed the ride. Ellicott City is a suburb of Baltimore area, and this is a historic district which has been since 1772. We just walked around and saw some beautiful old buildings and spent some time and came back home. The same night we went to drop my niece who lives near Washington DC. Though it was very cold, we went on terrace to capture this beautiful night view of DC. Came back home, packed our bags to leave for Rochester the next day. The drive to Rochester is unforgettable. Forget about sleeping, I just couldn't wink my eye to see the beautiful fall colors throughout. Next day, we clicked some pictures outside my sister-in-law's new house and then we headed to Letchworth State Park. Letchworth Water Park is also known as Grand Canyon of the East. The Genesee River flows through the gorge over 3 waterfalls at 3 levels. So this is the first level, and after reaching the first level I really did not feel like going ahead. We spent enough time here to feel the place. While going to the second level, when I saw this place, I thought this is a perfect location for any Karan Johar movie songs. It's just looking that beautiful. I really fell in love with all the trees over there. So I clicked one picture with a tree too. They mentioned about a small bridge joining the two mountains on the board. So I really searched very hard to find it. So finally, yes, there it is between those two mountains. Can you see that small bridge? So when I saw that, yes, I have decided I want to go there. But Prabhat said no. I mean it's a long distance. We have to really go down. So, but I said yes. He said no. I said yes. He said no. So meanwhile we were discussing. Then my sister-in-law, she already started going down. So we just followed her. After reaching there, we realized it was really worth going because we could see the second level of waterfall very, very clearly. Now we reached the third level. The whole place was so beautiful. There was no tiredness after hiking and no leg pain, nothing. So it was so good. So that was it for that day, and came back home by evening. Next day morning we went to sister-in-law's old house to get few things. Then I felt that the difference between the old neighborhood and the new neighborhood, it is the trees. Whew, this is a great exercise.
Kala raking the leaves in Rochester in November.
That evening, Prabhat's friend came from Canada to spend some time with us. Next day, we four went to Watkins Glen State Park. On the way to State Park, we saw many lakes, which are also called finger lakes, as they look like human fingers from the aerial view. We directly went to the upper part, and then we climbed down around 800 steps. We enjoyed every bit of nature's beauty around. Also felt good, this way we could spend a lot of time with Shivani and Nitin. In all, had a great time and then came back home. Next day spent some time with Nitin and Shivani, and then after that they left for Canada. After they left, I did cycling, which is my favorite thing to do. Because in India it's very difficult to find such empty roads, so I never leave the opportunity of riding a cycle. Next day we went to farms for apple picking. I was very disappointed to see very few apples on the ground, hardly saw any apples on the trees. But then we found bunches of apples on trees. I was so excited. That's it. I started plucking the apples and started filling my bags. But I must say that they were very juicy and very tasty. We really went crazy and we started filling the bag, but they gave us very small bags and we became very greedy. We really became kids and enjoyed filling our bags. Since it was Halloween time, there were a lot of pumpkins also in the farm. Having brought so many apples, we made apple pie with them, and it turned out very tasty. The rest of the apples we distributed to friends. Next day we went to Rajarajeshwari Peetham that practices the teachings of Sri Vidya. Sri Chaitanyananda Natha Saraswati, affectionately called as Ayya, is the Peethadipati of the temple along with his wife Gnanamba, called as Amma. Ayya is originally from Sri Lanka When he was in Zambia, he met Sri Amritanandanath Saraswati of Devipuram in Andhra Pradesh. He immediately felt drawn to him, and in 1979, he and his wife were initiated to Sri Vidya Mantra Diksha. The temple was founded in Zambia, but when Ayya moved to US, the temple was moved to Ayya's home before this temple was built. Young volunteers not only participate in every activity, they also conduct Rajamatangi Homam every year, in which the entire program is run and managed solely by children. The divine energies of both Shiva and Shakti are present, but the Shakti principle is predominant in the form of Divine Mother Rajrajeshwari. I noticed that the Navagrahas present in the temple are all with their respective Vahanas. As we felt very much positive vibes in the temple, we were there for quite some time and then came back home. Next day, we went to George Eastman Museum in Rochester. This museum is the world's oldest museum dedicated to photography. The museum is located on the estate of entrepreneur and philanthropist George Eastman, the founder of Eastman Kodak Company. The estate was designated as a National Historic Landmark. It was so beautiful outside the museum that we just couldn't stop clicking pictures. I was so happy that I didn't miss the chance to see the beauty of fall season. We just walked around that place for a long time and came back home. And the very next day, Prabhat went back to India. Next day, it was perfect weather for an outdoor cycling. So we went to Sampach Erie Canal. The path along the canal is so good and long enough to satisfy my craving for cycling. Today is my last day in Rochester, and tomorrow I am going to start my journey alone to the other places. I'll share all my experiences in each city in part 2 of my US trip. Till then, bye bye.